Like, the Darkling is leaving back doors all over this universe.
So true.
My goodness.
He can come through my back door. It was way dirtier than I thought it was going to be. You have to cut that.
Hey guys, welcome back to Kristen and Katie Read. I'm Kristen.
I'm Katie.
And we like to
read. Did you do this?
Just cracking a novel. Whoosh. Today we are going to be reviewing Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo, the finale, the sequel to King of Scars and the finale of the Grishaverse. I didn't even mean to say it that way. The Grishaverse, ... maybe. Because you have to think, Katie, with this IP, what are we thinking?
You can't close an IP like this out. You absolutely have to leave a back door.
Yeah. With the new Netflix show Shadow and Bone, it's just really hard to say when the actual finale of any universe is. I mean, even like with Harry Potter, we've gotten, the Fantastic Beasts. Like a successful IP is valuable.
Always rumored prequels. There's just, I feel like right now, if you're writing a series like this, you're just not going to completely close out the story.
Absolutely, because it's honestly just now blowing up. And even though it's been around a really long time, it's just now in the last couple years to really become what it is. So anyways, what we're going to be doing today is giving a quick recap of Rule of Wolves. It will be spoiler filled. So if you have not read it, turn back now. This is just going to be about the book, Rule of Wolves, quick synopsis, what we loved about it, maybe some of the things that we didn't love so much, our ratings, and our recommendations.
Let's dive in?
Yes. Okay, so synopsis.
The Darkling is back.
He's back.
Obviously, immediately demands to see Alina.
Right. I mean, it's not shocking.
Obviously. Which is a great way to get Alina and Mal back in the story. Obviously, that goes horribly wrong.
Right. Shocker. He has ulterior motives.
What? The Darkling?
Is that
the
how you say
master
that?
manipulator?
Ulterior?
Yeah.
Okay.
You did it right. You didn't even have to second guess yourself. You did it right. And they are executed because he's the Darkling and he's better at everything than everyone.
He really is. Well, when you have no morals and you have no limits.
And years of experience.
And you're centuries older than everyone. Yeah. True. I mean, it makes sense. It checks out. Absolutely. So that's how we get them back in this story. The Darkling obviously wants to take over, rule everything. So that's kind of where his storyline. It's always what he wants. It's like for Rothka, but it's also for him. It's for power.
So his motives are to be loved by Radhika. So we have this wedding going through to get the Shuhan Empress into Radhika. All the while, Nikolai is trying to talk to both the decoy princess and the real princess and kind of tell them what Shuhan is actually doing and to get them on his side.
I thought that was such a good ploy. Like, it was so clever to say a royal wedding and then give David and Jenya their royal wedding.
Especially because I was outraged when I found out they were already married and we didn't get to see it. So getting to see their wedding was incredible.
It's even more heartbreaking now, like putting a face to their names from the show, because I really liked both of their characters and the way that they acted them. So that's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough one.
It's gonna be tough because David actually dies in the aftermath of the wedding.
Yes.
The palace is attacked and David is found in the rubble.
And what I found really shocking, we talked about this a little bit in our 100 Pages In review, which I will link above. This book is so war focused. Like I thought a lot of it was going to be more about like magical plots behind the scene, more political moves, but it's still very political and a lot of power moves. But war strikes so fast. Like the wedding attack is the second battle, basically.
Yeah.
Like it just moves so fast.
So this closes out Nikolai's part of part one in their POV, but Nina in her part one, she's still in Fjerda. She's still with Hana, staying at the Brooms.
Just kind of being like an undercover Grisha spy person.
Yes, and Hana is now on Grisha good.
Because she's also
Fjerda
Grisha.
is bad. Right. So
but she wants to
Grisha.
save Fjerda. She wants to
right.
cure it. She wants to help Nina with the plots.
But clearly Nina is like in a bad, murderous place. And Hana is definitely the counterbalance to that.
She's very calm.
Being the voice of reason between, do we have to kill this person? Or I want to kill this person.
Right. A fine line, some are saying.
Some are saying Nina. It's a bit blurred right now.
Yeah. So then you've got Nikolai and Zoya flirting it up. Both have their demon and their dragon, the double D's.
The double D's. So after the wedding and David's death, it's obviously very traumatic for Jenya. And we can talk about this later, but Nikolai and Zoya are very supportive of Jenya and want her to grieve, but also know that she needs to be a part of the war plans.
Yes, they need her. And David kind of reminded me of a Hunger Games Gale, like the bomb that goes off twice. Like he has something that can help them win the war, but he doesn't want to use it because he knows once it's seen, like it's not going to be hard for them to figure out how he did it, and it's going to cause more death and destruction. So I thought that was a really interesting storyline. And then you still have Nikolai, who's obviously combating everyone, thinking he's a bastard because, he is a bastard, because we live in a universe where bloodlines matter, monarchy, things like that.
So yeah, in part 2, that's still heavily a part of his storyline. Zoya is coming to terms with being part Suli, or half Suli, which Inej is full Suli. So it's nice that we already have a character that we love and understand, and her connection to her people is so strong, and she wants to get back to them. So it's interesting seeing the flip side of someone who was told her whole life she had to hide that part. So that's a cool part of Zoya's.
They're kind of showing that in the show too, which I think is really interesting, of just how people can be intentionally hurtful and unintentionally hurtful, and just those biases,
or deflect, or
push out.
Not deflecting, but
projecting.
That's it. Yeah.
Felt like you're doing a power
sun summoner.
Ooh.
So we get new POV in the second part. So Mayu gets her own point of view in Shuhan. So that's really cool because we're kind of spread out. We have Nina and Fjerda. We have Nikolai and Zoya in Ravka and Kerch. And then we have Mayu in Shuhan, which I thought was really interesting not to choose Tamar.
Yeah.
That was so intentional. And I liked Mayu a lot.
Yeah.
So
you also have, we haven't touched on this yet.
The Darkling is still a POV.
Well, right. Darkling is his POV. And then, not a POV character, but is it? Cass isn't POV.
Oh, no.
No, it's just from Nikolai's perspective.
But the crows are back.
The crows are back because they need to steal something. So we get to see them kind of do this heist to get the iron or whatever metal they need. It's not, they could have done it without them. But again, this is supposed to be kind of like a finale. And so you get this characters. And it was just so beautiful.
It was so great.
And it was a good humor relief moment.
Oh, yeah. Bringing Jesper in anywhere is always going to be great.
Yeah. My favorite character? What are we talking about?
Also, I do like that Nikolai, Zoya, and Jenya were a part of the climax of Crooked Kingdom. So I liked that this was a direct result of them being in Crooked Kingdom, knowing to go back to talk to Kaz about the heist. It
makes sense because those characters were in the other series together, so it makes sense for them to be together.
And that with David gone, Wylan is the brains behind a lot of engineering stuff. So to have Nikolai connect with Wylan about the machines and how to do all the cannons and stuff was I thought really heartbreaking because
because this guy was gone.
This guy's gone.
And then the finale, I thought it was really well done. I mean, you don't know. You know they've got all these different plans and every country kind of has what they're bringing to the table, but you're still wondering the whole time, which side are they going to attack from? Or wait, is Fjerda have the upper hand or does Ravka? So I was kind of on the edge of my seat, and Nina doesn't know what's going to happen because she's watching it from Fjerda. Kind of watching it start to unfold from Nina's perspective was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And then the war starts to unfold, and seeing Zoya come back and interact with Nina, and Nina choose to stay in Fjerda. We'll get into this in a little bit, but she thinks she sees the person that she's in love with die yet again.
Yet
that was hard.
That was hard.
But then we find out that it's not, that Hana has tailored herself. Is that the right term?
Yes.
Tailored herself to now impersonate the prince. So she can
heir to
the throne. So that hopefully she can embark change on the country. Then you've got Ravka. They're no longer in war for now, but Ravka, always at war, you gotta think.
Ravka is like always on the brink of civil war.
Well, right, because they have Grisha, which is really cool. Apparently, it's still a big deal that Nikolai's a bastard. That is confirmed, and so they're throwing it out. They're throwing out the monarchy.
Because there's an actual Landsov that nobody wants on the throne.
Yeah.
So we have to get rid of the bloodline monarchy.
So monarchy's out. This is kind of why, we can touch on this more later, but why we think maybe there could be a more storyline, because the transition of power to Zoya, amazing. I just don't know.
But Rocky,
exactly. Alina and Mel still crushing it.
The Darkling is
doing something good.
He does want a redemption. He doesn't need their forgiveness, but he wants everyone to know what he has done.
Yes.
That's his condition.
Hilarious. He's like, make sure everybody heard about what I got going on.
I just think it's really great. That's his core driving force is he's like, I will do this for love that I will never feel.
So
have fun holding the blight back.
The blight. So that's another major plot line is the blight is taking over the planet. So Nikolai for a second's like, I'm gonna have to do it, and you know that fake out, he's not gonna do that.
I love that Zoya's like, get over here. She's like,
you're not doing that.
You're not doing this.
So then Zoya and Nikolai are together. Would love to see them actually be together. That'd be great. That kind of just wraps it up. Inej gets to meet the Sun Summoner.
I love that.
Which is so cool in the show that she already knows her. But that's
our quick synopsis.
That's our synopsis. We'll drop the quick. Sorry about you. But yeah, what were your favorite things about this book?
I think we have a lot of similar favorites.
Yeah.
So obviously my top favorite, the thing I was the most concerned about, was not getting to see our beloved characters from our past series.
Yeah.
I honestly kind of floored that Mal and Alina came back.
Yeah.
I was really not expecting that, which I should have. That was dumb because the Darkling's back. But I was mainly concerned with the crows.
Right. I just was so jaw-dropped when the Darkling came back in the last one, and I had so long, I just thought about it all the time, that I thought Alina would come back, but I honestly thought that maybe her powers would come back. I was really hoping for some summoner stuff. I didn't want her to be the one that, stopped the war and her to be the one that saved them. I like that each of them had to do their part to win. It wasn't there's one savior or whatever. So I wish we could have seen some summoner, but I love that her and Mel are happy in each other's person.
And that they are content. Because I know that both of us, one of our biggest complaints with Alina as a hero was that she at first was just I want to be normal. I just want to be normal. I just want to be with my best friend.
You're the chosen one.
And
relax.
And that she gets her wish in the end and gets to be content with it and not feel restless her whole life. I really enjoyed seeing.
Yes. I obviously Kaz and Jasper were everything. I also love the way they talk with Nikolai. The humor, the relief. I just felt such joy in that part.
My one complaint.
Tell us more. That Inej and Kaz aren't together.
They're not together in it. I mean, they're together. I know that they're still together, but we don't get to see them interact.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's an interesting choice because it's not
it hurts me.
It's not people fell in love with these characters later and she's she knew how much people loved these characters.
Right.
But these two specifically together to not give us that is an interesting choice.
I understand.
It made sense.
That the only leverage that Nikolai could have is if Inej was in danger.
Yeah.
And he could fix it.
Yeah.
Which I love that was the only thing that could convince Kaz to help them.
Kaz is I'm there. I would say that my last, my favorite part about it is just knowing that Nikolai and Zoya have by far the most interesting life ahead of them. They're the funniest characters, they're the wittiest, they're the smartest.
They're the prettiest.
They have so much going on. And the fact that this is where this ends, my mind is I'm like, well, what happens next?
And I love, again,
how
we said,
rule?
They have, I love that we end with Genya, Alina, and Zoya. I loved that part of just getting to see the three of them come so far, especially rewatching the first book basically in season 1 of Shadow and Bone and seeing Jenya, again, spoilers if you haven't seen Shadow and Bone, I don't know why you'd be watching this, but like seeing just Jenya betray Alina, Zoya start out hating Alina being totally lost and not really wanting to be a Grisha. It's like seeing them then to their solid relationship and how much they depend on each other in the last scene.
So good.
So beautiful.
So beautiful.
I love that Nikolai sneakily still gets to be king if he marries Zoya. And I love that Alina points it out.
Right. She's like, well, how is
She's
this
like,
happening?
I'm still irritated that he figured out a way to do this.
Katie, what would you rank this book? Goodreads, 1 out of 10.
Okay, on Goodreads, I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Bum, bum, bum.
It just didn't flow as well for me.
Yeah.
This time. Oh, puppy.
That's okay. We're not mad at you.
We're not mad at you.
You were just kind of little.
Hi, puppy. Hi, baby. Okay.
Okay. So, Katie, you gave it a 4 out of 5 on Goodreads. Tell us more.
I did. It didn't flow as well for me as King of Scars. I still obviously loved it, and I loved all the characters. Nina's parts I felt kind of dragged a little bit. But I think like I would give it like an 8.5 out of 10. Still like an excellent fantasy book. I thought it was a great finale, or I mean a finale for King of Scars for sure, for the duology. So what about you?
I gave it a 5 out of 5. I would say a 9 out of 10. I like the way it wrapped up. I loved King of Scars so much. King of Scars to me, like, just shocked me. Like, I was jaw-dropping. And this one, like, things still surprised me. I wasn't sure where it was going. It just, the flow wasn't as great. And my favorite parts, I felt like, were the side stories.
Yes, my favorite parts, I was always waiting for Zoya and Nikolai to, like, have alone time, for my favorite characters to come back together. I did really think the Shuhan storyline was really interesting.
Is it?
But none of that matters because Bash is here.
Yes. So we are so excited to continue to talk about the Grishaverse and see the rest of the world watch it. So I'm sure if you guys are readers of the books, you are as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing probably a reaction video, just like talking about the show. We love TV and we love books. Put them together.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, guys. Until next time.
What's your name?
This is
Basher.
And this is Katie.
And this is Kristen.
And he doesn't read yet.
But we'll get him there.
Okay, until next time. Bye, guys.